To begin this experiment, 10 microliters of warm lysis buffer will be put into a PCR tube. A worm will be picked from the plate and then put into a PCR tube. The PCR tube will then be put in the centrifuge. It is important to make sure that the centrifuge is balanced and the cover is placed on it. Once the tube has been centrifuged, it is then ready to be put into the thermocycler, and then it can be stored in the freezer until the next lab period. To begin the PCR reaction, 15 microliters of the master mix will be added to the tube that was prepared in the previous lab period. Then, 5 microliters of primers will also be added to the tube. This tube will then be ready to be put in the PCR thermocycler and run as according to the procedure. A gel will then need to be prepared. This will be done by pouring agarose into a mold that has a comb in it. Once the gel has hardened, the comb can then be carefully removed. The gel tray will then be moved into the buffer chamber and base of the gel electrophoresis machine. TBS buffer will then be poured over the gel that's in the buffer chamber. It is important to make sure that the gel is completely covered. Five microliters of a ladder will then be put into one of the wells on the gel. It's important to keep your hands steady at this point to make sure that the ladder goes into the correct well. Using the same technique that was used to load the ladder, the PCR product that was previously made will also be loaded into a well of the gel. The cover will then be placed over the base to make sure that it is dark and the gel can be turned on to be run.